exclusive videos, Q&As, bug Buckley on Discord, and the satisfaction of knowing that I only exist because you allow me to exist. You basically own a life. That's pretty cool. Support the habit at patreon.com/doseofbuckley. They say, be careful what you wish for. It just might come true. Despite this warning, I constantly wish for $1 million, one of those celebrity Burger King crown cards that gives you free food for life, and a mute girl with massive honkers and hands like silk. Just kidding, dear. Those things have yet to come true, but I think many people my age have wished for the end of TikTok. The ultimate monument to the dwindling attention spans of humanity, where if it's longer than 30 seconds, I'm already bored of writing this sentence. Let's just move on to the next one. I've made fun of several TikTok videos, creators, and trends over the last few years, and have definitely suggested the world would be better without it. And so, old Joey Surefoot signed the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act. Rolls right off the tongue like he rolls right off a stage, which effectively says no app can operate in the USA if it's owned by or controlled by a foreign adversary. The US government is flat out saying China is a foreign adversary. Seems a little harsh of a title for your third largest trading partner, but anyway, they've given ByteDance, the Chinese owner of TikTok, a little under 1 year to divest from it. Effectively sell TikTok to a company that exists in a non-adversarial country. Preferably, the good old US of fucking A. I talked about this more in my TikTok versus governments video last year, but ByteDance is still claiming TikTok isn't controlled by China. All of the data is in the USA. The employees who run it are American. The CEO is from Singapore, not China. The Chinese government has no say in it. It's not a Chinese app. And the US government is basically like, sure it ain't ping pong. It was probably TikTok that sent them so-called weather balloons over here last year. Well, ByteDance says they have no plans to sell it and that they're going to challenge this law in federal courts, just like they did with the Montana ban I talked about in the previous video. Update, by the way, it was overturned in November by a federal judge. So, yay, right? We might finally be rid of that garbage fucking platform and its absolutely useless NPC streamers, idiots encouraging even bigger idiots to eat poison or hurt themselves physically, gym hookers getting mad that someone walked by the camera filming their ass while they do squats, and ultimately useless content. Right? No, not yay. In the immortal words of Switch, not like this, not like this. As I did a year ago, let's go over the reasons they claim this requires this level of government intervention. 1. The Chinese government could end up getting your data and potentially spy on you. Oh no, China might know where I live or my phone number? 20 years ago, they used to deliver a big book to your house that told you everyone's address and phone number in your city for free. They might be listening into my conversations? Well, what if I accidentally said something not nice about China? Oh God, they could arrest me the next time I'm in Shanghai. Oh wait, that'll be never? Whew, that was a scary 2 seconds. No, you know what's way scarier? North American companies having access to your data. The FBI, as well as the RCMP, Canada's much more colorful feds, have compelled companies to give data to them many times in the course of an investigation. Perhaps you heard about the Canadian government freezing 200 bank accounts of the Freedom Convoy protesters. They did that by tracking donations made through American-owned crowdfunding websites and payment processors, as well as tracking purchases made in the area to determine if someone was in Ottawa and part of the protest. If you're on the internet, your own government can track what you're doing, what you're spending money on, where you are. They probably know how often you shit based on how much toilet paper you buy. That should be way scarier to you. And you'll be shitting yourself a lot more when I tell you these 2 stories. First one, I can't tell you why I know this, you'll just have to trust me, but if you have ever made a disparaging remark on social media about a bank or a partner of that bank, Say, for example, you've made angry, bordering on threatening comments, even jokingly, about the New York Mets baseball team, who play at Citi Field, named for Citibank, who pays them $20 million a year. A human being may have found those comments, screen captured them, and they could be archived and linked to any accounts that you potentially have there and shared with those partners. For what purpose? I don't know, but they have people who do that. And 2, when I did an online police background check to renew my coaching license, as part of their test, they asked me questions like, what was your address in 2010? What was the make and model of the car you purchased in 2016? Who was your employer in 2014? And they already knew the answers. It was multiple choice. They wanted to see if you would tell them the truth. This is the type of shit that would have Dale Gribble locking himself in his basement. If you use the internet, own a phone, or pay for anything with a card, your government and the banks know everything about you. The difference? You live here, not China. And the second big issue is child safety. Earlier this year, Congress got a bunch of tech CEOs in a room and basically said, "You're not protecting children from predators. You're letting them see porn, and you're destroying their mental health. You're ruining these kids before we get a chance to when they become tax-paying adults." I will argue forever that this isn't the government's problem to solve. This is a parental issue. And before you say, "Oh, but parents can't do it. They can't know what their kids are doing online." My parents, in 1994, somehow knew what I was doing on BBSs. And neither of them even knew how to fucking use a computer. I taught them. A little too well, apparently. But every modern parent is a million times more tech literate. What it boils down to is, you just don't want to. You're too busy looking at AI cakes on Facebook to give a fuck about what little Mason and Harper are up to. You got parents suing Fortnite for being too addictive. They want $4.5 billion from Facebook and TikTok for negatively rewiring the way children behave. Maybe you shouldn't have bought your 10-year-olds fucking phones and said, "Meet your new babysitter." Oh, but I can't know what they're doing at their friend's house. They aren't going there. Stats show that kids physically hang out with friends less than twice a week now. They're at home, in their room, 6 days a week. If it's impossible for you to know what your kid is doing, maybe try lifting your head up from your own fucking electronic pacifier. Also, are you really cool with the idea of the government saying, "We'll decide who can and can't own a company"? TikTok is worth $100 billion according to some estimates. Who could buy that? There's only a handful of companies. And guess who they are? Google, Meta, Amazon, maybe Microsoft? Yeah, just what the world needs. More monopolies. Yeah, it'd be scary if China had access to your data. I'd feel much safer if 4 megacorporations control everything you see, hear, eat, smell, touch, and buy. That's definitely not scary, as my Google phone gives me an ad on Facebook for Amazon's new Fallout TV show. A property owned by, maybe Microsoft? And ultimately, isn't this a net neutrality issue? Again, I hate TikTok. Fuck TikTok. But I don't want any governments telling me, as an adult, where I can and can't go online. Put that down in my file, guy whose job is to track me. Adam Buckley doesn't support government oversight of the internet. Type that out, print it on your laser printer, run it over to 24 Sussex Drive, and file it directly into Justin's ass so we don't lose it. So, I don't want TikTok to die this way. I want it to die the way its predecessor Vine did. Horrible corporate mismanagement, coupled with the kids whose attention spans it irrevocably destroyed, ironically getting bored and moving on to the next mush-brain trend. Letting companies fail on their own, and then not bailing them out. Unless they're a bank or an airline. That's the America I know and love. You hear that? I love America. You can call off the guy who makes it look like an accident.